Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Home Solutions. Dennis Purvis here with you live and direct from the Mix 1041 studios. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Saturday morning. Hopefully this weather is going to get warmer soon. I am officially over winter. I'm ready for spring, which means we're getting our houses ready for spring, our cars ready to go, getting everything out and projects started. Maybe you're starting to think about that as you're riding around town listening to us this morning. Maybe you're going out to start your new project. Maybe you're headed out to one of the local hardware stores or nurseries, garden centers, somewhere around here to start your project or just scratch some things off the honey-do list. However, you're listening today. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you. We're the only local home and garden show, and today we've got a great guest. I'm excited to have him in the studio here with us finally, talking about a pretty unique series of things we need to think about as homeowners, and stuff that is, I guess, changed in the last couple of years that has kind of changed how all of us kind of live and work inside our home and our vehicles. So I'll get to him in just a second. First, let's give you our shameless plug of the week. This show is brought to you by Pro 93 Home Solutions, and we are your local friendly neighborhood general contractor. We would love to partner with you and your family with whatever your project is, whether it's maybe you're wanting to do a remodel, maybe you're wanting to finish a basement, maybe mom or dad need to move him back in with you, so you need to have a mother-in-law suite. Maybe you're looking at an addition, garage, whatever it is. We would love to help you out from small to large to building you a new custom home. Give us a call, 458-4135, or you can reach out, pro93homesolutions.com. Hit that Contact Us tab. That'll come directly to us, get us your information, and we will give you a call to come out for a free estimate. Please don't forget, we've got our clean team ready to come out as well. If you need any sort of residential or commercial cleaning, we would love to. If you've got an office that you would love to get a bid on getting it cleaned, weekly, a couple times a week, we would love to give you a free estimate for that. Or if you just need a deep clean at home, it is about time for spring cleaning. You just want to do a deep clean of the house now that hopefully we can turn the heaters off here soon. Give us a call, 458-4135. Remember, we do green clean. We do have Melaleuca products that don't have any of the harmful ammonia, chlorine, the cleaning smell kind of smell. So if you're looking for someone with asthma, or you've got someone that's just very sensitive to those sorts of smells, we do that at no additional charge. But that is an option for everybody that calls us. Free estimates all the time. As always, go to pro93homesolutions.com and we'll take care of you. There it is, your commercial for the week. Now we can get to the important person. Buddy of mine, I'm glad to get him on here. We've been talking about this for the last month or so, about some ways to get him in here and some things to talk about, because the more we both started thinking about it, it's crazy how things have changed just in a few years. But I got Todd Walker in here. Todd, you don't need a lot of introduction. A lot of people know who you are. If nothing else, you're the tall guy in every restaurant they see in town. But Todd's been in the insurance business around here, made a name for himself for quite a while. Todd, Insurance Incorporated. Good to see you today, buddy.
Thank you. Good to be here. And rarely do I walk into a room and I look up at somebody.
No, so. and if there's an NBA team traveling through.
Well, that has happened.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
It does. It doesn't going to happen at Jenkins very often.
No,
let's put it that way.
Not usually.
But Todd is one of the most. One thing I love about Todd, not only the way he does business, but he is super knowledgeable. I guess he's insurance smart, y'all. He's been doing this for a while. He takes care of his clients by making sure he knows what's going on, so he can give them the best coverage and protection. And I love the way he conducts himself, the way he handles himself. And those of you that know him know that he does business the right way. So Todd, I'm happy to have you here. So before we get too far, I said you didn't need an introduction, but there's some people out here that may not know who you are. Talk a little bit about your background here in town and how you got in the insurance world.
Well, it's amazing how many people have moved to Cleveland.
Yes.
So,
oh yeah.
And then we have places like Lee University that bring people in all the time. And so there's a lot of people that may not know our company or me, but I've been in the insurance business I don't know, over 20 years, but I have a degree in insurance from Middle Tennessee State University. So I tried to be in this industry and got my degree so I would be the most knowledgeable, and continued that on. I was with McIntyre and Associates for over 20 years. And then we merged last year with Landmark and then again with Insurance Incorporated. So we took all three of those companies, three great agencies, and all put them together. And so I love it. It's just,
Yeah, and you've definitely been invested in the community here as well. I know you big into sports, even, and you coach for a while. I know you used to coach, and are you still coaching any?
I kind of
Jackson. Right?
Yeah, Jackson. He's 23 now, so he's he graduated from Lee. So he's,
well, he that's good. It makes me feel old when I still think of like he's got to be in high school. I thought about that on the way here. I was like, he's got to be in high school by now.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Time goes by. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you blink and there you go. All right, so one of the reasons that I wanted him in here, and you might be thinking, okay, you got an insurance person, we're going to talk about homeowners insurance, and we are. And we can talk about homeowners. But one of the things I wanted Todd in here for is COVID happened a few years ago. We were already the economy was already making that transition to more of a gig economy. Then you have a pandemic that locks everybody in their home. Remote work becomes pretty much a standard. More, I've got plenty of friends from Blue Cross that half of that hill is empty every day because they've figured out, hey, people are more productive when you don't make them drive through downtown Chattanooga traffic every day, twice a day.
Yeah, very much.
And they get a lot more work done if we just send them a computer and let them work in their pajamas. So you've got remote work. You've got people that have just started businesses out of their homes. And not to mention, we'll talk about vehicles in a little bit, but, Todd, talk about how things have changed when people are running a business out of their home, what that means insurance-wise.
Okay, so technology has changed the insurance world dramatically, and it's changed the way we do business, period. Not just insurance, but, like you said, everybody's working from home now.
Yeah.
But, that started happening even before the pandemic.
Yes.
You had, your Ubers and your Lyfts and those things that were becoming extremely popular. And, you said we'll talk about that in a minute. But then when the pandemic hit, now everybody's working for their house in Zoom. Some people didn't know what Zoom was. I
wish I had Zoom stock before 2019. That would have been fantastic.
Exactly. So then, now you have multiple platforms for conference calling, and everybody stepped up their game in that arena. But everybody's homeowner's insurance has some form of endorsement that you can put on to cover yourself from liability if you work at home.
Yeah.
Different companies do it different ways. It really depends on what you do too, because how risky your business is. But there's opportunities for that, and you need to check with your local agent to figure out what those are.
And what I would tell you is that if you call to talk to your agent and you either don't get that return call or you just don't feel like your agent's taking the time, this is a rule that one of my best friends is an insurance guy, and this is one of the things he told me that he learned when he started in the business. Every year at renewal, he calls every single customer to go over their policy. If he can't get him in the office, he does it over the phone.
Yeah.
Because if you're like me, and look, I'm an information guy. I like reading small print. I want to see where somebody's trying to get me. I want to make sure stuff's covered. But when I get that homeowner's renewal every year in that big, 8.5 by 11 envelope that's half an inch thick, I don't remember the last time I opened one. I usually just take it, put it in a filing cabinet under 2024 homeowners policy, right?
Well, most people do.
Yes, right? Nobody's taking that out to read. But becoming a contractor, I found out some of the reasons why you don't do that. And that's as simple as we had a good friend of mine who had obvious storm damage on the roof. They were the last person in their neighborhood that got a roof replacement. Adjuster comes out. They've got a very reputable company. I'm not going to say their name, but very reputable company. A lot of you folks out there listening right now have these folks. The adjuster comes out and says, yep, absolutely, you need a new roof. Storm damage everywhere. Great. 2 days later, he gets a thing from the adjuster saying, you need a new roof, but when you renewed, your roof policy was excluded.
Ooh.
Now, this ultimately thought it was a mistake, calls his agent, who no one's let him know that this was out there. And of course, the onus was on him as the homeowner, because they did send him the paperwork, did send him the policy showing that it had been excluded. Now, when you're talking about a $12,000 roof, that's a tough pill to swallow.
It's a big pill to swallow.
That is a big pill to swallow. So trust me when I tell you, if you don't have an agent that takes the time, you need to give Todd a call. You need to give him. And how can they get a hold of you, Todd?
We're at Georgetown Road at 2551 Georgetown Road, Insurance Incorporated. Our phone number is 423-472-5051.
And you can find them online. It's just Insurance Incorporated, all spelled out, .com. And I can tell you, they've got some great people that work there. Most of you, like I said, they've got kind of an all-star team of 3 great agencies that were here just a couple years ago that have all now under one roof. But call Todd. I guarantee you he will take the time to listen to what your needs are and make sure you're covered. So somebody's got, we've got people that have, maybe working from home remotely. What about the folks that have started doing the Etsy stuff? Their garage has become their workshop, or they've put a building in the backyard and they're running some sort of a manufacturing or a craft shop, or we've got folks doing the t-shirts and the tumblers, and it seems like everybody's doing that now. What do they need to think about? Well,
if you have direct revenue coming from your house, like if you're having sales from your house, if you work for a company and you work out of your house, or if you have an office in your house, you really just need a little endorsement on your homeowner's policy. But if you have a business that's fully operating from your home, and a lot of people do, you really need a separate commercial policy for that, because there will be exclusions on your homeowner's policy that will not cover those transactions. And there's a lot of transactions that happen within business that can get you in trouble.
And here's the thing: if you are running that separate business, the good news is stuff you spend on insurance. That's stuff that it's an expense. It's stuff that comes off your P&L. It's going to help you, but the protection you get just to have that liability, I can't tell you. And I know Todd can probably tell you horror stories too of folks that. It wasn't that they were trying to dodge the system, they were trying to game the system. They just didn't think they needed it until the day they did.
Yeah.
And then they lost. I mean, you want a quick way to lose your home? Realize that you needed some liability policy and have something go wrong.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you the other thing. Somebody gets hurt on your property, okay? And they find out you running a business out of there. It's just like, I'm always leery. I don't like having our company name on our trucks. Because if we ever get in a fender bender, the first thing that somebody's going to see, this is a company.
Yeah.
This is I'm not in a fender bender with my next door neighbor Joe. I'm in a fender bender with Pro 93 Home Solutions. I bet they've got a big insurance policy, And it sounds, you can call it whatever you want, but it's real. And we've had that happen in our work trucks, and that's why you won't see too many wrapped Pro 93 trucks running around town. I can tell you that. We may have a little decal. But we ain't doing that kind of thing. Listen, we're right up against the clock. We come back. You brought it up earlier. I want to get back to it. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about your vehicle, right? You keep that vehicle in the garage there on your property. Let's talk about some things that have changed with that as far as using your vehicle. Super important, especially coming out of the pandemic and how popular all that got. So hang in there. You're listening to Home Solutions right here on Mix 104.1 and 101.3 The Buzz.
Are you tired of going to YouTube or Google for answers to your home improvement questions? Maybe you have more projects than you have time. No matter where you are in the process, Pro 93 Home Solutions is ready to serve you. Pro 93 is a local, veteran-owned company offering residential and commercial remodeling, cleaning, and security. Contact us today at 458-4135 or online at pro93homesolutions.com. Let the pros at Pro 93 find the solution for your home or business. That's 458-4135.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Home Solutions. Dennis Purvis here with you. Got my buddy Todd Walker from Insurance Incorporated here, ready to talk a little bit more about all things insurance, but particularly today, how your work and your home tie together in insurance. We talked a little bit about running a business out of your home, remote from your home. But let's talk a little bit about your vehicles. So he brought this up before with Uber and Lyft. That was kind of the pre-pandemic surge. And then the pandemic hit. We couldn't touch anybody, couldn't see anybody, couldn't contact anybody. But you could DoorDash to your house. You could get Walmart to start delivering your groceries. That's apparently when all the cashiers stopped working at Walmart, because ever since then I got to bag my own groceries and scan my own stuff. But not that I'm bitter about that. But let's talk a bit about your vehicles. I know on the rideshare, folks, I feel like with some of the hearing just anecdotally from the people that Uber and Lyft, now if you sign up, you do have to, I think they want you to show proof of some sort of insurance.
Oh,
correct?
yeah, you have to show proof of insurance because they're going to protect themselves for you driving.
Because you're an independent contractor,
exactly.
correct? Yep. So talk to me about if they decide they're going to use their vehicle in some of these kind of ways, what do they need to think about? What do they need to do?
So like an Uber and Lyft, when they first came out, insurance companies didn't have exclusions for it. And
they didn't catch. It's hard to catch up.
They didn't know. Yeah. So they're slow to react on some of these things. So then they started saying, no, we're not going to cover it. And they started excluding it. And then some companies said, okay, we're okay with it. So if you look in the market today, there are insurance companies that will allow you to do the ride share, and then there's some that won't. So you have to be very specific with your agent about what you're doing. You can't not tell them.
Yeah. This isn't stuff to keep. Listen. Treat your insurance agent like your doctor, your pastor, and your lawyer. Just figure you got confidentiality. They need to know the secrets. They need to know everything so they can protect you, right? So, and this comes to a good point about your company in specific, because Insurance Incorporated, you're not beholden to any one carrier, correct?
That's true. We're independent. So we represent multiple carriers, and by us combining those three agencies together, we've got over 30 carriers. And we try to find the best coverage for you because, like some of them may do Uber and some of them not. So that's why we have multiple carriers, and that's why we can offer multiple types of things for multiple people.
Yeah, and you guys can do way more kind of specialty, boutique, weird things because you start learning what these insurance companies will do and what they won't.
Yeah, well, I did a mobile coffee shop the other day. So it's
there you go.
They drive from place to place. Set up.
It's a coffee food truck.
It's a coffee food truck.
Yeah.
And
I never thought. How do you insure those?
They do great, but no, not every insurance company will do it. So you have to find one that it does.
That's crazy.
And they specialized in it, and it's a great product.
Well, there you go. So so you guys as independent agents, you guys out there finding the best deal for folks, finding the right fit, I think is the other thing. Fit for folks. Now, if we talked about the rideshare, what happens with like the DoorDash? If you're doing, is it sort of like being a pizza delivery driver? What do you got to do for that?
It is. Some of the companies like, you go back to Domino's from years ago, and they've always had that kind of service, where you order a pizza and they deliver it to your house. So they usually have a policy that covers the driver while they're doing the job, and then your policy covers you while you're not. DoorDash is a little different. You actually have to have it covered by your insurance,
because it's a big difference. Is you're not an employee but a contractor.
Correct, and you're doing it for multiple entities, really.
Yes.
So, and I tell you one we haven't mentioned yet that's thrown another wrench into the insurance world, and it's just now coming out, and insurance companies are going, okay, how are we going to handle this? Is Turo.
Oh,
are you familiar with Turo?
I've heard just a little bit, but I didn't. Are they even around here yet?
I'm sure they are. I mean, it's online, but I don't know if there's anybody in Cleveland doing it.
Yeah.
But basically, you are providing your car to rent to someone else. So with a Uber and a Lyft, you're driving your own car, picking somebody up.
I think the only thing they're starting to advertise on podcasts.
Yeah.
That's how and it's because I heard a version of this. Was it last year or the year before where you could literally rent your residential home swimming pool to people.
Yeah.
Like let people come over and reserve your pool for hours or a day party or whatever. If you're not going to be there, you're not using it. And I was just like, that's just a lie. I have more insurance than I need. I'm not going to lie because I am a paranoid person. My grandmother would call me a professional worrier, but I get it honestly because she's better than I have ever been at worrying. So I'm always worried about that thing. And I will admittingly, and it's one of the things my business partner loves about me, I will pay more money up front to make sure it's done right and that we're protected, because I don't want to take a chance to find out at the end that we weren't. So I'm either an insurance agent's dream or a nightmare. I haven't decided, because we're probably a little bit of both, because I want to know all the information and I want to know what's covered. So when you think about all these different things, so what happens? What do you do when you hear about something like, say somebody's got, you find out one of your clients calls about Turo. At this point, the insurance companies, what do you do? What kind of advice do you give them? That may be a really tough question.
I believe you can purchase a coverage through Turo for that.
Gotcha.
But we do get multiple calls about people wanting to do Turo, and will you cover it through my normal insurance at a cheaper rate, because they want to get it as cheap as they can, which I don't blame them, because I think Turo's is really expensive.
Yeah.
But all the companies I'm aware of currently have said, we don't know what's going to happen with this. We don't know how many claims are going to be out there. We're not sure what it's like. So they're kind of standing back and keeping hands off.
And this is different than letting your buddy borrow your truck.
Yeah. You're giving it to a stranger.
You're giving it to us total, and you're doing it for profit.
Yeah.
Like this is a business. This is a transaction, and not he needs to move a bookcase over to his mama's house, something like that for the weekend. So, man, it's just crazy how this stuff evolves, and it's stuff that you don't think about. I mean, it really is. Unless you're somebody like you that lives and breathes this stuff every day and gets these phone calls. I mean, it's and you're kind of on the front lines, because if it's going to hit, you're going to be getting the phone call first.
Oh yeah,
because people are calling to find out how protected are they.
And I've not gotten a call on this yet, but I saw an ad just this week about rent your motorcycle while you're not riding it.
That's my nightmare.
I mean, can you imagine?
What? Are you kidding me? Well, hey, it is what it is out there right now, and then people are going to. I mean. It's capitalism at its finest, is what it is. I'm an entrepreneur. Todd, one more time. We're about got a few minutes here before we're done, but tell people again how they can get a hold of you guys. If you have any insurance questions, folks, I promise you, give Todd and his team a call at Insurance Incorporated. Tell them where they can find you and how to get a hold of you.
Okay, we're insuranceincorporated.com, and our number is 423-472-5051, and we're 2551 Georgetown Road, and we're local and here and love to help you.
Listen, folks, one of the things you brought up to me this morning, we were talking, that, we hear about every day, but I've never thought about it from an insurance point of view, as you had talked about some of the cyber stuff that's going on right now. Talk a little bit about, and I can tell you, I still teach part-time at Lee. I know they had one, I know, pretty publicized a couple years ago, or maybe last year. I know a lot of companies in Chattanooga have dealt with ransomware, different stuff like that, people getting in, hacking into systems. I know people fall prey to it. I just got it's like the new version of the Nigerian Prince email, literally got through our firewall and our spam and got into our inbox. It took a minute to read it to Jesse, my co-owner, and I was like, hey, guess what? This guy's looking for next of kin, and we could get $65 million US. So, but all we got to do is send him $1,000 and he'll be able to release it all, and it's amazing that, but folks, they're sending that stuff out because it works.
Oh yeah. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie The Beekeeper?
It's
out of theater right now.
We just streamed it the other night.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it's intense.
It is.
And
the Hive, got to protect the Hive.
Action movie, and it was awesome. It's
Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Right? He's you don't make him mad. Go ahead.
So anyway, I was better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, it was.
And, he did a great job in it, but it really opened your eyes into cybercrime. And the biggest misconception about cybercrime is, from a business standpoint, is people think because I don't sell my product on the internet that I don't have any exposure. Mm-hmm. And I say, well, do you have an email address? Because that's usually how they get in, is they get into your computer, and then once they're in your computer, they can lock your data management system down. They do that, and they ask for $50,000 to give you a password to be able to access.
And it's always in crypto because it's untraceable and unregulated.
Yep. And usually you don't get back in, and you lose all your data.
Yeah. And think about this of what you've got. Even if you're running a small business, you may have customers. Definitely got contact information. You may have credit card numbers. You may have account numbers for EFTs. You may have, it's amazing what you may have. Every one of us, I'm guarantee, has checked the mail and has gotten that letter from, I know a few years ago, it was Verizon of, hey, we recently had a breach. We're giving you identity theft for a year because we're pretty sure, but we're not sure if your stuff was included, right? We've all gotten those. And what do you do when that's your business? Are you prepared to send that stuff out? Are you prepared to understand what kind of loss that could be? Talk to them about it, and I'm assuming insurance-wise, there are provisions and steps people can take to protect themselves a little bit from this, correct?
There are. And so as an insurance company, we can't keep you from getting hacked. That's going to be an IT company or so. So you don't just stop with us. You need
you still need to do your due diligence.
Exactly.
Folks.
But what we do is we pay for the cost to get you back to where you are. And we also, like that $50,000 fine, they'll pay that in a lot of cases. Or ransom, I guess you can call it. So anyway, they'll do that. And then I had a company in Chattanooga, and in fact, they've been one of my loyal customers because they had a breach and it locked down their management system. And the FBI got involved, and they said, we're familiar with this terrorist organization, and they will not give you this password. If you give them the $50,000, it's gone. And they said you might as well hire people and re-enter all your data into a new management system.
Spend that money. Don't spend good money to bad. Don't spend good money to bad. Take $50,000 and get everything put back.
So we paid for that.
Wow.
So it's huge.
Yeah.
And they were happy.
And I'm assuming that the cost for that up front may take to being proactive on that is pennies on the dollar compared to what happens when you get hit for $50,000.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So listen, I know everybody, insurance gets a bad rap sometimes. People are like, I'm just wasting money. Folks, as a contractor, I have been in homes that have been gutted by fire, water damage, trees through the roofs after storms. We started as a company right as the tornadoes came through years ago, and I can tell you without question that insurance, man, nobody likes making that payment every month, but when you need it, you're going to be so happy to know you've got someone on your side. And it starts with your agent. So if you're listening and out there today, your tip for the week, and I started the show with this. If you've been with an agent for a long time and you haven't had a sit down with them and you don't know that you can get one to go over your policy, because just little things like this, folks, we've seen a rapid increase in home values in this area in the last 10 years. We did not see this. We did not see this in 2008 when everybody else did. We didn't see it dramatically, but we have seen it in the last few years. You may have a great policy, but it may not be enough to cover the replacement cost of your home today. It was great when you bought the house or built the house 10 or 15 years ago. You need to take the time and find an agent to sit down with you, go over your policy, and make sure you have the coverage you need for what your life looks like now. And I can promise you, if you go to Todd at Insurance Incorporated, you're going to get one of those people. So Todd, one more time, tell everybody how they get a hold of you.
Insurance Incorporated is located at 2551 Georgetown Road. Number is 423-472-5051, and it's insuranceincorporated.com.
Listen, Todd, thank you for being here today, brother.
Thanks for having me. I loved it.
Hope you guys had enjoyed listening today. Hope you all would learn something today. Today was all about education, and if it scared you a little bit, call your insurance agent. If you don't want to call your insurance agent because you're scared, call Todd. He will take care of you and hold your hand and get you to the promised land. Guys, remember, go out there this week. Have a great week. Go home, love on your family, love on your neighbor, and remember, we're all in this together. We'll see you next week on Home Solutions right here on Mix 104.1 and 101.3 The Buzz.